So I shared the story of Blackstone came and put me out of business. And when that happened, I remember thinking like they came and told me, come work for us. We're going to do a rental fund, all this stuff. And I tried to analyze it the way that I thought they would. And I said, oh, these aren't even good rentals, or the return wouldn't be very good. But what I didn't know was their plan was going to be find an undervalued market, buy every property on the market. Yes, they're going to rent them, but really it's a long-term land play. And if they buy everything on MLS and everything that's scheduled for auction and everything in a certain zip code for the next 2 years, prices are going to get thrown just through the roof because people still need regular houses to buy. And that was the play that I didn't see. And then they did these giant cash out refinances because they bought the houses for $300,000 and then the prices got pushed up to $450,000 and they did a $400,000 refi. And I was like, whoa, so that's the business plan. Mm-hmm. So for years, I got to stew over that and then putting me out of business that way and why I couldn't foresee that. But part of it happening to you is so January 2021, I remember, the market had started to slow down a little bit because the end of 2020 was really, really hot. It was just on fire. And when January hit, people started to go like, whoa, prices have just gone up like 30%. It can't keep going. I bet we're going to crash now. And so that month of January, everything had kind of slowed back down. Prices had come back down. Stuff couldn't sell. But me and my business partner had said, hey, we think that prices have a long way to go. So I'm kind of that Blackstone analysis, part of the, hey, there's a new person elected that we know is going to put a bunch of money, a bunch of stimulus that we think is going to boost home prices and inflation and all this stuff. And I remember texting my real estate agent in January 2021. And I said, we need to buy $40 million in real estate in the next 60 days. Like send me everything on the MLS built 1985 and newer, and we're going to buy it all for list prices. And it was through lenders and hard money and all sorts of things. But it essentially was that Blackstone model. And we did that in January 2021. We tied up everything, especially these new home neighborhoods. And like this fascinating thing that happened was like 9 months later, we'd buy a bunch of duplexes. We'd tie them up for like 260, and 9 months later, but when the construction was done, they were appraising at 400,000, and we were able to do cash out refis the day we bought them. The reason I share that story really quickly is because right now, people's businesses are changing for the most part in a lot of areas. I mean, no matter where you are, there's some markets where stuff is selling fast and prices are up, but everybody's volume is down. There isn't a mortgage broker out there making more money today than they were 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. There isn't an agent doing, well, maybe there is, but their volume is just down, right? And so look around for the lessons right now. If you are in one of those spots as a listener and your business, like look around for the lessons of the things that are working, and something that can bring you hope is it might not be like today or next year or 2 years from now that lesson is going to help take you to the next level. But the getting to see firsthand the company strategy that put me out of business and took me to zero and took me to a severe debt that brought me from making $200,000 a month to like being in debt to go be an Uber driver, getting to see their business firsthand and like learn in that failure. 10 years later, I guess it was like 8 years later, that what I learned from them, I got to go do at the same level, and it more than made up for, the loss from before. So it's easy to get discouraged in tough times, but I would say the best thing people can do in tough times is try to look around and learn as much as you can, as the moment will happen where this lesson will pay off more than you've lost today.